Well, faulty facial recognition software is at the heart of this case. 61-year-old Harvey Eugene Murphy Jr., a grandfather, was taken to jail because the technology pinned him as the primary suspect for that robbery. But according to the lawsuit, he was taken to jail, and in a matter of hours, he was beaten, raped, and then released. And now...
What's up, family? I am a determined black man, John Jay, and as usual, I'm determined to reach at least one someone that's out there listening to the sounds of my voice, if not each and every one of you all. On today. So, I bet a lot of y'all saw the first clip and y'all was just shaking y'all head like, wow, unbelievable. Well, I did the same thing when I heard it the first time too, but I wasn't surprised. Many of you all that follow me know why I'm not surprised. I made a couple of videos back in 2022. I know I shared one about humanoids as well as another one called Killer Robots. Y'all be sure to go into my older videos and check those out. Not only that, I also wrote an ebook. I wrote an ebook on Amazon. Please feel free to go check that out. There's a lot of information in there. The book is entitled The Real Impact of Artificial Intelligence in Minority Community. The Real Impact of Artificial Intelligence in Minority Communities. Y'all be sure to go check that out on Amazon and Kindle. If you purchase it, please leave a review. Any of you all that's not subscribed to this channel, please hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you'll be notified each and every time that I drop any hot content to this channel. And I appreciate you all if you all would support the channel by at least hitting that like button. It's all free. But you can also feel free to drop a donation to our PayPal. Go to the website at www.adbmstateofmind.com. That's adbmstateofmind.com. Abbreviation for Determined Black Man, stateofmind.com. Also, I would ask that you all, when you go to that website, please feel free to leave your email. I'm trying to build an email list so that I can share with you all by email anytime I come up with any new discoveries, or if there's a class or something that I want to teach you all, then I can invite you all by email. So, back to the subject at hand. It's nothing new to me. And that's obvious. I got receipts. You know what I'm saying? I got YouTube videos up that's been up since mid-22, I want to say. I wrote the book over a year ago. I've been speaking in reference to these things for years. It's sad, but it's true. You know, in the 50s and the 60s and the 70s, black people had to worry about being wrongfully ID'd and willfully wrongfully ID'd, knowingly wrongfully ID'd by you know who. And many men and women, especially black men, have rotted in jail and in prison, wrongfully accused. And that's very disheartening. That's very disheartening to know that we can't even trust the justice system to do us fair. Well, I know many of you all already know this, the truth of that matter. But here's another form of oppression that we must face as black melanated people. And it's not just that I'm just being a racist or a bigot or any of that stuff. I just like to tell the truth. And I'm black first, and I try to get this information out there to my people because we are the last to be informed and the least to be informed. And a lot of times they put mechanisms in place to keep us from desiring to be informed. So I want to be somebody that looks like you, talks like you, been through what you've been through to help us to make it through. So first of all, we've got to be aware of all of these different systematic things that they're doing right up under our nose. I told you all in my video about the killer robots out in Oprah. When they was running the test on them, they first started off with them in the downtown areas monitoring the homeless. And I told you how they like to slip stuff in on us. They try to soften it up first. See, the first ones had stickers on them. Go back and check the video out. I'm not going to go into too many details, but the first ones had stickers on them with smiley faces and things of that nature. Just so they can get by. And they gradually start to increase and get closer and closer to whatever the motive is. And then you started seeing them actually using robots to shoot and kill and take down subjects. And in this case, a man was wrongfully accused of a crime. A 60-something-odd-year-old man gets accused of a crime that he did not commit. Actually has an alibi. Was over 2,000 miles away at the time of the crime. Yet he still gets arrested and put in jail. Not only that, during the course of him being incarcerated or locked up, oh my God, this man gets beat up, held at knife point, and raped. That's just so fucking horrific to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't even just talking about how the act of unhumanity it was to be raped by another human. You know, like I tell you all the time, a lot of them guys be locked up, man. They become animals. They don't have an outlet, and everybody ain't got good sense. And when you locked up in a cage for so long, some of your sense will start to seep out if you're not careful and you're not doing things to try to maintain your sanity. But how is it that a man could be wrongfully ID'd by AI facial recognition application or software?
So much of what we think about artificial intelligence comes from science fiction. It's sort of the stuff of Blade Runner and the Terminator. And then when I started sort of reading and listening to TED Talks by Joy and another mathematician named Cathy O'Neill, other women like Meredith Broussard and Zeynep Tufekci, I realized that artificial intelligence was something entirely different in the now. It was becoming a gatekeeper, making automated decisions about who gets hired, who gets healthcare, and who gets into college. And when I discovered Joy's work, I was just captivated by this young woman who was disrupting the disruptors.
And it goes so far as he actually goes to jail, wrongfully accused, had an alibi, and this man loses his manhood. But they'll just release him and we're sorry, give him a pat on the back. I'm glad to hear that he's actually suing, not the city, but the ones that actually called the police on him, which was the Sunglass Hut, that took their video to Macy's so that Macy's could run their video through the facial recognition software. And it wrongfully ID'd this man. So check this out. I'm about to show y'all a clip of another young lady that's an expert in the field. And listen what she has to say about it. This gonna shock you. Like, you wouldn't even believe what you're about to hear. And at the same time, know that they actually using this stuff already before they perfect it. And I know it's no perfect way, but I'm just saying, why are we relying on this when this could cause people to not only, the man could have lost his life. He could have lost his life. He could have very well lost his life. And there's many others like him, and there's gonna be many, many, many more. Because this is a part of the test. This is the laboratory test. We're guinea pigs. And these people already know the fault.
Not being identified is a good thing, but then there are the misidentifications that have a real world impact. So in the clip and in the film, you actually see the work of Big Brother Watch UK. And in this particular scenario, Big Brother Watch UK was able to track what was going on in London. And one of the things they showed it in their study Face Off was you had false positive match rates of over 90%. So you see this one example here, but they also had reports where more than 2,400 innocent people were mismatched. So it's not just a case of, oh, you're not detected. That might be sometimes, but you could be misidentified as somebody you're not, and the consequences can be.
Tell me what's happening.
This young black kid in school uniform got stopped as a result of a match. Took him down that street just to one side, very thoroughly searched him. It was all plainclothes officers as well. It was 4 plainclothes officers who stopped him. Fingerprinted him. After about maybe 10-15 minutes of searching and checking his details and fingerprinting him, they came back and said it's not him. Excuse me. I work for a human rights campaigning organisation. We're campaigning against facial recognition technology. We're campaigning against we're called Big Brother Watch. We're a human rights campaigning organisation. We're campaigning against this technology here today. And then you've just been stopped because of that, but they misidentified you. These are the details here. He was a bit shaken, his friends were there, they couldn't believe what had happened to them. You've been misidentified by their systems, and they've stopped you and used that as justification to stop and search you. But this is an innocent young 14-year-old child who's been stopped by the police as a result of a facial recognition misidentification.
So you see, some things are happening right in front of our eyes, and because of our trust in government and law officials and all that, I'm not telling anyone to oppose their local government or any government system or any government body, but I'm just making you aware that we can't all just rely on the systems to do what they're supposed to do. For one, we all know that, especially in America, capital rules the world. Capitalism rules the world. So if they find ways to eliminate human bodies from actually having to go out here and do due diligence and do work and get paid for it, then they find systems to try to replace people that haven't quite even met the standards that real human, live up to. Much yet, something that should be more advanced than the human mind, more advanced than the human eye. But it isn't there yet, and especially for black people or people of color. And you just heard this young lady, even as she sat in front of Congress, pleading her case. As an expert.
I'm an algorithmic bias researcher based at MIT, and I've conducted studies that show some of the largest recorded racial and skin type biases in AI systems sold by companies like IBM, Microsoft, and Amazon. You've already heard facial recognition and related technologies have some flaws. In one test I ran, Amazon recognition even failed on the face of Oprah Winfrey, labeling her male. Personally, I've had to resort to literally wearing a white mask to have my face detected by some of this technology. Coding in whiteface is the last thing I expected to be doing at MIT, an American epicenter of innovation. Now, given the use of this technology for mass surveillance, not having my face detected could be seen as a benefit. But besides being employed for dispensing toilet paper, in China, the technology is being used to track Uyghur Muslim minorities. Beyond being abused, there are many ways for this technology to fail. Among the most pressing are misidentifications that can lead to false arrests and accusations. Mistaken identity is more than an inconvenience and can lead to
My journey started as a grad student. I was working on an art project that used face detection technology, and I found that it didn't detect my face that well until I put on a white mask. And so it was that white mask experience that led to questioning, well, how do computers see in the first place? How's artificial intelligence being used? And if my face isn't being detected in this context, is it just me or
Do you
other
think that they
people?
really taking this into account? No, they're just gonna keep on collecting their data. They're gonna keep on collecting their data and developing these AI technologies themselves. When all in all, these systems need everyone to participate in the development stages of them, because that's how biases are created. If you go and check out my ebook, The Real Impact of Artificial Intelligence in Minority Communities, and you go to page 9, under the subheading, Challenges of AI for Minorities. And you look at number one. Number one is bias and discrimination. AI algorithms can perpetuate biases and discriminatory practices against minority communities. Also, go check out page 10. Here's the resolve. Check out page 10. Under subheading, Addressing Challenges and Building Opportunities. Also, number one, increasing diversity in AI development. To create AI systems that benefit everyone equitably, it is essential to have a diverse group of people involved in the development. It's essential. It's not an option. Because if you allow these systems to be programmed by one or two different types of people rather than everyone, then they're going to have biases, because everyone is not the same, everyone doesn't look the same, everyone doesn't think the same, And so if they're learning and adopting and adapting the behavior of the people that have already had biases and discriminatory practices towards us, then what do you think that this AI technology is going to do? It's only going to do it at a more faster pace, at a faster rate, because it never sleeps. See what I'm saying? So it's a scary thought. I'm not trying to scare you off. And also, if you read that complete ebook, then you'll see that there are some pros to AI technology. I mean, there are very many pros to AI technology. Artificial intelligence is a great thing. It's just that it shouldn't be used for everything. And especially when it comes down to judging people and actually putting people in jail. We got to perfect that system first. There's no way a robot should be able to determine whether I was the person that robbed that store or not. Because at the end of the day, that robot can't be accountable. You see what I'm saying? So when they start putting these systems in place, you got to also remember a lot of this stuff they're doing so that they can remove accountability from themselves. What you gonna do, sue the robot? What you gonna do, put the robot in jail? Once you find out he wrongfully accused this man, got this man thrown away, stuck in jail, beat up, held at knife point and raped? Nah. So Just like I speak about the freedom of speech and how it's under attack, all this stuff kind of coincides with one another. Start taking away some of your rights, and I start creating other entities that can play on you without me being accountable for how they play on you and may wrongfully accuse you of things that get you thrown away in jail, possibly killed. Think about it. A lot of black people get killed in the process of being arrested. What if this older man had this man that got accused of robbing the sunglass hut? What if he, because of his unawareness of what they were arresting him for, what if he had a buck up in that DMV and they already got the scoop on what they think that he done? They already on high alert. Then what you think they would have done? If this man had supposedly robbed that store at gunpoint, then they already on high alert. What do they always say? I fear for my life.
Artificial intelligence, once a vision of the future, but now a growing part of our everyday lives. It's not just dancing robots. From 3D printing to artificial beehives, the potential of new technology is limitless. But while we may think that machines are more efficient than people, new research has thrown up some worrying results, especially when it comes to facial recognition software. Joy Bolamwini has been researching prejudice in tech, and her work is on show in this new exhibition at London's Barbican.
So this is the experience I had that kind of started it all. Yeah. I was a grad student at MIT working on a project that used face detection, and you saw it worked well on my friend's face. When it came to my face, it didn't work so well until I put on
the white mask on.
Yes, the white mask, right? And
so it worked perfectly.
So here you see different examples of iconic women being mislabeled. So this is Serena Williams on the cover of Wired saying the future needs to be more diverse and more inclusive. And then we have Face++, Chinese company labeling her male. And here we have Michelle Obama.
Joy realized the problem had the potential to cause serious harm.
I read another report that showed with self-driving cars, when they tested pedestrian tracking, it was less accurate on darker-skinned individuals than lighter-skinned individuals.
Joy believes this bias is because of the lack of diversity in the data used in teaching AI to make distinctions.
As I started looking at the data sets, I learned that for some of the largest data sets that have been very consequential for the field, they were majority men and majority lighter-skinned individuals or white individuals. So I call this pale male data. And if you have a lot of pale male data, you're destined to fail the rest of the world, who I call the undersampled majority, people and women of color, because they're not even included. And right now we have to make sure we prioritize inclusion and we prioritize ethics.
And people are listening. This week, San Francisco police issued a ban on facial recognition technology in policing. But what is the UK government doing about it? Already, a task force has been set up to advise on best practices and ensure new technologies do not discriminate.
This is a problem that is going to be with us continually as long as these technologies are used. What's fascinating about artificial intelligence is it has the ability to look at patterns and understand our own behavior. And it can either reflect our behavior, even exacerbate our behavior, the worst aspects of our behavior. But it also has the potential to enable us to see our own behavior, to understand the weaknesses in our own behavior, and to correct it. The crucial thing is that we make the right choices now about how we use this technology and the accountability about the way it is used to ensure that it benefits society and benefits all of us.
AI is far from the automatically perfect future. It has to be constantly reviewed, and above all, those who construct the algorithms must reflect the qualities of our diverse society.
I truly believe that AI has great potential, and I think of it like fire, right? Fire can keep our houses warm or it can burn it down if it's not properly managed. And that's where we are with AI. There's great promise, but if we let it rampant without any kind of controls, we can burn down the city.
Well, earlier I spoke to Peter Eckersley. He's Director of Research for the Partnership on AI, a group working to develop fair, inclusive and ethical practices by people in the industry. Their board includes directors from Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Apple. I started by asking him what issues they're dealing with in the United States.
Well, one example that we're really struggling with in the United States is that many parts of the US criminal justice system, many counties and states around the US, have started using machine learning systems to make predictions about whether criminal defendants will reoffend. And this is a case where it's actually very troubling that people are doing this, because the data they use is arrest data or conviction data largely. And we know that depending on your race in the United States, you're stopped, searched, arrested, charged, convicted or wrongfully convicted at different rates, depending both on your race and the crime and where you are. And so it's actually very hard to get appropriate, clean data to make a prediction like that.
But in a sense, surely you're trying to perfect a brilliant piece of tech, which is nevertheless flawed, by extending sort of information from all sorts of other forces and bringing them into play. That's not a great piece of tech, is it?
The problem we're confronted with is that AI systems are something like holding a mirror up to the biases and flaws of human beings. And it's really hard to teach them that there are some things they're seeing in the data that are not the future we want to create, but rather flaws in ourselves that we don't want to replicate. And so that's one giant challenge.
But you do have a problem because the general populace thinks crumbs. We've got a brilliant system for identifying criminals, or alternatively for picking people for the right job and the rest of it. And we suddenly discover it's actually rather seriously flawed. How much is the industry going to spend on trying to make a relatively simple, nevertheless complex tech that works?
Well, I think there is a lot of commitment to tackling these issues with significant technical engineering teams and teams of social scientists and ethicists to start thinking deeply. And
you don't mention hiring more black people into tech.
Oh, absolutely. I think that hiring for diversity is one piece of this pretty long to-do list that I think at least the more responsible artificial intelligence companies are really realizing.
On January 22nd, 2022, this sunglass hut on West Gray in Houston was robbed by two armed men. The employees inside were threatened at gunpoint and taken to the back of the store while the suspects stole money and several pairs of glasses.
Sunglass Hut may not have access to facial recognition software, and so the documents show that they took the video to Macy's, who then used his features to determine that he was the one that had robbed the Macy's before and identified him as Mr. Murphy and told Sunglass Hut.
Daniel Duco, the lawyer for 61-year-old Harvey Eugene Murphy Jr., who is from Houston, says his client was in California at the time of the crime. Murphy Jr. eventually moved back to Texas for work in October of 2023.
And he goes to the DMV to get his driver's license renewed. And the police officer comes from around the counter and puts handcuffs on him and arrests him.
And that was the beginning of a life-changing ordeal. Murphy was taken to jail for multiple felony warrants for the robbery at the Sunglass Hut. Court documents suggest the store employee was also prepped by the company and identified Murphy as the robber, with facial recognition playing a key role in his arrest. Murphy gave officers his alibi. It checked out, and he was told he would be released.
While he was being held in jail, he was going to use the restroom. He was beaten, sexually assaulted, raped.
Because of the nature of the alleged crime, lawyers say Murphy Jr. was put alongside violent criminals. 3 men followed him to the bathroom and raped him with a shank pressed against his neck. He was released and the case was dismissed. He is now suing the parent company of Sunglass Hut and Macy's for using the facial recognition software that led to his false imprisonment. The dangers of using this technology is also outlined in court documents.
I know for a fact that studies have shown that African Americans have a high rate of false positives based on facial recognition software. I also know comparing people who are older with pictures of other people when younger, so age gaps have a very high rate, up to 90% of false positives.
According to his lawyer, Murphy has long-standing physical and psychological injuries, and he is now coming forward to raise awareness and hopefully prevent this from happening to someone else.
Probably wondering, like, what can we do? Go get the book. Go get my ebook. Download it, read it, study it. It's not that long. That's why I made it in the ebook form. It's like less than 20 pages. But it'll give you a greater understanding of how we have to move differently now. And not only that, we got to start being more vocal and being more involved on the political level. Told y'all we got to start finding out ways to create our own political parties. You know, because this D's and R's ain't
Earlier this year, we met with my council on science and technology advisors and some America's top minds to discuss the possibilities and the risks associated with artificial intelligence. In May, Kamala and I convened the CEOs of American companies foremost involved in AI development to underscore their responsibility in making sure the products are used safely before making them public. The same here today. I want to hear directly from the experts, and these are some of the world's leading experts on this issue and the intersection of technology and society, who we can provide a range of perspectives for us and on AI's enormous promise and its risks. As I've said before, we'll see more technological change in the next 10 years than we've seen in the last 50 years, and maybe even beyond that. And AI is already driving that change in every part of American life, often in ways we don't notice. AI is already making it easier to search the internet, helping us drive to our destinations while avoiding traffic in real time. AI is going to change the way we teach, learn, and help solve challenges like disease and climate change, and giving you the time to focus on the things that matter most to you personally. But In seizing its phone, the risks to our society. To manage the risks to our society, security. My administration is committed to safeguarding America's rights and safety, from protecting privacy to addressing bias and disinformation, to making sure AI systems are safe before they are released. Last October, we proposed an AI Bill of Rights to ensure that important protections were built into the AI systems from the very start. Earlier this year, I signed an executive order to direct my cabinet to root out bias in the design and use of AI. And in May, we announced a new strategy for funding for responsible AI development, so Americans can lead the way and drive breakthroughs in this critical area, from cybersecurity to public health to agriculture to education, and quite frankly, so much more. Social media has already shown us the harm and powerful technology can do without the right safeguards in place. That's why I said at the State of the Union that Congress needs to pass bipartisan privacy legislation to impose strict limits on personal data collection, ban targeting advertising to our children, and require companies to put health and safety first. Next month, the Vice President will convene the civil rights leaders of America, consumer protection groups, and civil society to continue our administration's ongoing engagement on AI. But today, I'd like to hear more from this group because I have a lot to learn, and we also have a lot to discuss. So I'd like to ask the press to leave the room.
They playing games with us, y'all. And for them to allow this, you know, it's wrong. But they don't care. They don't care. It's all a part of the plan. We as black men and women, we got to protect our children. We got to protect our own lives. Because no one is looking out for us. No one. Not even AI. I know a lot of y'all, like she said, may think that it's a good thing because it misidentifies you. So therefore it may miss you in a certain sense when you committed a crime. But what about the innocent people that's going to get caught up because of the misidentification, as this just showed you? This man went to jail. And he didn't have to go to prison. He went to jail, Harrison County Jail, and got raped. Lost his manhood. At 60-some years old. That man shouldn't have to be going through that. He's at retirement age. This is how we treat our senior citizens. This is how we treat our senior citizens. A man that had a complete alibi. You stick him in the cell, yeah, due to the nature of the crime, but the man had an alibi. Did y'all not hear him out when y'all interrogated him? Sad. Sad. That he even had to go to the interrogation process or even had to be arrested because he was wrongfully ID'd by AI. But it's also why I tell y'all to be careful about information you're sharing, because all of our information that we're putting on the internet is being sold and bought by these large corporations, because information is powerful, especially when you put it into action. So they're not just getting your information just to get it. And they're not feeding this stuff to the AI for no reason. They're trying to teach him what they already have been doing, basically. And so, I mean, artificial intelligence, the reason why it's artificial and not real is because it lacks compassion. It lacks empathy. It just bases things off of patterns and what has been taught through practice of patterns. And so over time, it starts to develop its own thought about, when I see this type of person, I'm gonna react this certain type of way. If they look this certain type of way, I'm gonna react this certain type of way. But as humans, you know, we can kind of gauge things and differentiate between right and wrong, or, you know, we can look at certain gestures, you know, and tell from certain tones. But this AI, you know what I'm saying? It's a scary thought, y'all. Y'all feel free to let me know what y'all think about it. Jump in the comment section. Please let me know how y'all feel about this technology. What y'all think about it? Y'all think that it's a good thing? I mean, it ain't no stopping it now, y'all. They already got unmanned planes and drones, cars, you name it. This artificial intelligence in just about everything we do. I mean, our phones, they're using AI in everything. But the last thing that I want them to be able to do is to use it to incriminate people. I just see how bad this thing can go. And we already so far behind the 8 ball. We've already been treated like shit and used and abused. The last thing we need is a system that's coming in just picking us out. randomly picking us out. Oh, you look like that? Yeah, come here, go to jail. I mean, you actually getting charged. You actually going to jail. That's sad. But y'all, like I say, jump in the comment section. Let me know how y'all feel about this. Hit the like button, please, y'all. Hit the like button. It's free. But you know what it do? It help push this video into the algorithm cycle that gets it out there. See? YouTube likes engagement. These social media sites, they have AI technology involved in them. They're sitting back and it's looking at the scheme of things. Like, okay, this video is 25 minutes long. They watch 15 minutes of it. That's over 50%. Must be pretty interesting to hold somebody's attention for 15 minutes out of 25 or whatever, you know. And it's also looking at the engagement, comments, likes. And that forces it out there because YouTube want to make their money too. You know how YouTube make the money, right? The same way if you are monetized on YouTube through advertising. So the more my video spins and plays, the more people watch it, the more they can advertise on it. They only paying creators a small fraction, small percentage. Or YouTube banks off of these videos whenever they go viral. Anyway, I love you all. I love you all. I love you all. Y'all go check out the ebook. Please go check out the ebook. Make sure y'all check out the website, www.adbmstateofmind.com. www.adbmstateofmind.com. That's the abbreviation for a determined black man, stateofmind.com. I am a determined black man, John J. Oh yeah, don't y'all forget to check out the merch shop. The link is in the description. And until the next time, y'all stay up, stay humble, and stay good people. I'm out. One.